Hello and welcome back everyone to this weekly update on the financial markets. My name is Jens, and like every video, I want to talk with you about the S&P 500 index, US oil, gold and Bitcoin against the US dollar. We'll discuss these assets via price action on the weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame. And after that, we will have a look at my single stock investments. I marked the interested ones with red. 5 stocks that are interesting for this week. So let's start directly in with the S&P 500 on the weekly time frame. The S&P 500 index on the weekly time frame is making higher highs followed by higher lows so far. So an intact overall uptrend supported by the 200 moving average. So far so good. Now, what's the problem? We had a nice bullish run. We touched the first Fibonacci extension level measured from the low to the prior high. Then we had a major correction. So this here gets the first take profit target. We reached that one and reversed here. We lost already the 10-week moving average to the downside, and MACD is crossing to the downside. We had that also here in the past. Sometimes it was not a major thing. 3 red weekly candles, and then we recovered and continued the overall uptrend. But sometimes we had also massive losses, and a bear market started from there. I think personally that we will see a short corrective move, maybe a little bit larger than this one. 3, 4, 5 red weekly candles to the downside before we recover and continue, because the market is bullish and the trend is your friend. Let's drop one time frame lower to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, you can see price action got compromised here. We have seen a failed low, so a lower low, a lower high, and we changed from an uptrend to a downtrend. And yeah, we'll probably continue a little bit lower. If we drop to the 4-hour time frame, you can see here is at the moment an interesting 4-hour support zone supported by the 200 moving average at the 4-hour time frame. That here is support, and we will maybe see a bounce beginning next week from here on, but I would expect maybe even a break, retest, and a break of the retest to the downside, and then afterwards continuation higher to again a new all-time highs. That's an example. It doesn't have to happen exactly like that. Maybe this will stay the lowest point, also possible. I have no clue. I'm reacting to the markets, not predicting the markets. You can draw here a downtrend line, and if that one gets broken to the upper side, we will, with a pretty high probability, see rising prices again. I'm looking out for a setup to get long. At the moment there is no. I will wait what happens next week, and yeah, I will inform you like always in my next video. So what I do, how my trading setup will look like. So if you have not already subscribed to the channel. That's all I have at the moment for the S&P 500 index. Let's switch to US oil. US oil also starting at a weekly time frame, a long time frame picture here. We had a nice bull run, then a long year lasting decline since 2008, and we have drawn in a monthly red solid downtrend line. That one got broken to the upper side in combination with the 200 moving average at the weekly. From there on we went into a corrective move. You could argue that you see here an A, B, C correction. Point C is the lowest point of this corrective move. So far we haven't seen a lower point, so point C is still this low here. I marked with a green arrow and a question mark. And if that one holds, I would think that the next move is to the upper side. We already tried to get above this orange weekly downtrend line. So far that failed. At the daily time frame, you can see that this is really not lower than this one. So a higher low so far. We have a secondary daily downtrend line, printing at the moment still lower lows and lower highs. Maybe this will stay the lowest point, and if we see now a push above the prior high, that would mean we have a higher high, then maybe a higher low, and then continuing higher, and that would set up a nice trading opportunity. Maybe if it happens like this, will not exactly happen like this, but maybe similar, then that could get a trading opportunity to the long side for me. And yeah, but I have to wait that I get the signals. So far we are only declining at the 4 time frame. It doesn't look any different. Price has to hold, has to stay above this prior low here. Otherwise, we are still in a downtrend. We are technically still in a downtrend, and we have to take out this 4-hour resistance zone in combination with the last prior high here, and then it looks similar like I have drawn it on the daily time frame, and we can then look out to execute it on the daily or the 4-hour time frame. That's my plan for oil. For sure it can fall lower, but that would be no trade for me. Next, gold. Gold against US dollar starting at the weekly time frame. We have here this cup and handle formation. That one got broken to the upper side after getting above this long tested resistance zone here. We have seen the breakout, and since then price has printed higher highs followed by higher lows, and every time we had a corrective move, the 10-week moving average got crossed to the downside, and then afterwards it was supporting the price action. Similar is now happening here. 10-week moving average is at the moment supporting the uptrend, and we have a correction right now ongoing here. On the daily time frame, you can see that the daily secondary uptrend is already broken. We had the all-time high near the $4,300 level per ounce. We have seen a push down, retest of this broken down uptrend line, and now I would expect it will continue lower and complete an ABC correction. That is at least a probability, and if we reach maybe this white solid daily uptrend line again, that would be a nice place in combination with the 200 moving average to look out for new long trading opportunities. For sure, gold can blow off right to the top with the right news, but I think that's more unlikely. Was somewhat of a blow off top, and sentiment has to cool down, or we see something similar like here in the past, a sideways consolidation. We will see and react to it. On the 4-hour time frame, not really much more to say. We had to push down, the retest of the broken daily uptrend line, another push down. We can draw in a 4-hour uptrend line, holding pretty nicely so far. But if that one breaks down, maybe if you are intraday trader, you would wait for breakdown, a retest, and a break of the retest to the downside, and then you could take a trade here and short gold. But gold is a pretty strong market lately, and shorting strength is not recommended most of the times. So for me, probably no trade in gold. I wait for completion of this move, and then hopefully a nice long setup. Next, Bitcoin against the US dollar. Bitcoin against the US dollar starting also at the weekly time frame. We can see we have a nice uptrend printing higher highs and higher lows following each other. Yeah, lately we had a pretty volatile break to the downside. I had the concern that we have this MACD divergence, price making higher highs while MACD making lower highs, and we reached the first Fibonacci extension level. If we measured the last major movement from the low to the high, we get this Fibonacci levels and also the extension levels. And this would have been the first take profit target, if you will. And yeah, it looks like a double top. You'll know it's a double top after we break the neckline to the downside. That happened. And yeah, we continued lower. My hope was that this weekly orange uptrend line will hold like it was holding in the past. It didn't so far. And yeah, since then we have peaked a lot below that one. And at the moment we haven't seen a lower low. So technically we are still on the weekly in an uptrend. But yeah, if we will recover from that and see in this 4-year cycle still a new all-time high, the probabilities for that have gone down by a lot. So yeah, let's have a look at the daily time frame. Here you can see my trade I was entering after this downtrend has ended, and my plan was to ride that one up to the upper side. My plan would have been to reach the $143,000 level and take there my take profit. I was risking 2% to make 7% in my account balance. And yeah, after seeing new all-time highs, I even increased the position and scaled up my entry level or stop loss level. But yeah, haven't expected such a huge decline. And finally, I got stopped out below this daily support zone here for a loss of $2,000 in my account balance. You can see it here in the paper trading account. So at the moment I have no open position in Bitcoin anymore, sadly. We lost 2% of the account balance with this trade, and it has been already, I think it was 4 or 5% in profit. We also lost that open profit here. Maybe I would have been smarter to take some coins from the table, but you are always afterwards smarter than in the situation itself. So yeah, I will go through all my trades at the end of the year, and yeah, if I have anything to learn about this year, I will share that with you probably in a video. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Yeah, so clear breakdown. What happens normally is that we will see a counter movement after such a sharp sell-off, and then if we see then the low getting taken out again, then that's the sign that we'll continue lower. The 4-year cycle is over, and then I would expect that we will probably retest this monthly uptrend line again, somewhat at the prior all-time high level and the $60,000 range. That would be brutal, very brutal, but yeah, only $25,000 far away from that. That would be roughly 50-60%. And we have seen in the past 80% loss in Bitcoin from the prior all-time high. So nothing unusual. So for me at the moment, no long trade. Sure, we have a chance that prior low will hold and we see not a lower low and continue from there on. But at the moment, I don't see a way betting on that. You could take this daily secondary downtrend line and wait for a break that to the upper side, maybe a higher low and higher high, break of the downtrend, retest and break of the retest to the upper side. Then you could get again into a trade. Could still be failing afterwards, but then your stop loss is well defined again below this daily support zone. And if we lose that one, then again, we will continue lower for sure. So at the moment, no trading setup, not to the short side, not to the long side. I'm with that position now in cash, and I will have a close look the coming days and weeks and inform you like always about any ideas, changes, trading setups, etc. Let's continue with the single stocks. Siemens, yeah, that stock was in an intact uptrend, still is in an intact uptrend to a moving average. Yeah, was nearly supporting it, crashed a little bit below that one. We had support or resistance zone. That resistance zone got passed to the upper side, making a new all-time high. I entered long, stop loss below the last significant low and the 200 moving average. And yeah, price came down and triggered my stop loss. I was risking 0.5% of my account balance here. You can see it. Let's make it a little bit bigger. You can see it here. I lost nearly 700 USD on this trade. And yeah, so far I'm not seeing here another trade in this stock. So at the moment that one will get deleted from this list, and yeah, I will scan it every week. So if I see something interesting again, I will for sure let you know. Next, Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric, also energy industry uptrend, intact uptrend, supported by the 200 moving average after breaking above a downtrend and a daily support or resistance zone to the upper side. I entered a long position, stop loss was placed below this significant daily support zone and the 200 moving average. We collapsed below that and triggered my stop loss. Also here I was risking 0.5% of the account balance. Here the trade, I lost 630 USD on this paper trading account. And yeah, so far so good or bad. I see at the moment nothing interesting anymore in this stock to trade right now. So I will put it on the watch list that I will check every week for me. And if you follow this account, this channel also for you. Next, the stock Diamondback Energy. The Diamondback Energy Inc. on a weekly time frame. Let's switch to the daily time frame. You can see we have broken above a significant weekly resistance zone. We had some sideways consolidation, then we continued higher. We have seen a pullback to this breakout level, retesting now this past resistance, now turning support. We've seen the lowest point getting higher, breaking this daily downtrend line to the upper side, but since then we are sideways consolidating. The 200 moving average was nearing price. At the moment price is even above the 200 moving average. And yeah, we can see here this daily resistance zone keeps that sideways consolidation in check. The moment we see a significant breakout out of this range to the upper side, I would like to go long in this stock to aim at the take profit around the prior all-time highs in this stock. Why that? Because oftentimes these levels turn resistance, and at least we will see some reaction to the downside from that level. Still, I would aim for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, so with the stop loss placed below the sideways consolidation range, risking 0.5% of my account balance, I would aim to make 1% in total with this trade if it turns out like I prefer. That's the scenario right now. Let me know your opinion on that one in the comment sections, and then I will continue with Evercore Inc., also a new stock in this list. Evercore Inc. on a weekly time frame, like you can see, an upward trending stock without a question. Let's drop down to the daily time frame. Here you can see we had a high, we had a massive corrective move. This high turns then to a resistance zone. We got to that resistance zone, got rejected slightly, and then the breakout above to make a new all-time high. And now we are retesting this breakout zone with an ABC correction. At least at the moment it looks like one. I was able to draw here a daily secondary downtrend line. And if we break the downtrend to the upper side, taking out the midpoint of this corrective move to the upper side, I would like to enter a long position with a stop loss placed below this corrective movement, aiming also here for risk reward ratio of 2 or even higher, 2.5. Let's see, I can readjust that if we are in a trade, why I was choosing 2.5 and not 2, because we are still with 2.5 risk reward ratio below the second Fibonacci extension level. But yeah, like I have learned in Bitcoin, maybe we'll take partial wins on the way up there, so we maybe end up not completely at a 2.5 risk reward ratio. Yeah, that's the idea on Evercore Inc. And last but not least, I have the Markle Group. The Markle Group Inc. has a long history and an impressive price action. This stock has only known one way, and that is up. We have an intake weekly uptrend to the upper side. Lately, we switched to the daily time frame. We can see we had the prior all-time high. We had some sideways consolidation, corrective movements. We tested the prior all-time high, got rejected to the downside, and then we have seen finally a push above this prior highs, making a new all-time high, and now we are pulling back to retest this breakout level. So this is perfect for breakout trade. So the idea is, if we see prices taking out this corrective move to this breakout level to the upper side, then I would like to enter a long trade and ride prices higher to a new all-time high level. Stop loss would be placed pretty near the low of this corrective move. Maybe we'll correct a little bit lower on Monday or Thursday or whatever. Then would readjust the stop loss a little bit lower. The entry would stay the same, and yeah, hopefully we get that one triggered. And I would aim for 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And like you can see with this history of the stock, that should be a reachable goal. Also here, my idea would be to take partial wins or to bring the stop loss to the entry level if we see some gains here, to take the trade risk free, but we are far away from that step, and will inform you like always if I put my stop loss to my entry level or take partial wins. I will inform you in my next video. That's all I have for this weekly update on the financial markets. I hope you got something out of it, and hopefully you see my next video on next weekend. Till then, bye bye.